So this tooth is being removed. First you give some freezing, then usually you do something called elevating, where you kind of wedge something between the teeth and push up. Then you grab the forceps and you go back and forth, expanding the bone, and now it's gone.
That man really just pulled a tooth live on TikTok. What if I told you that pulling your teeth isn't as painful as you think it is? And it's videos like this that are a great example of why. You see, one of the biggest things that we get here in braces orthodontic land is kids getting loose teeth and needing to get some of their baby teeth pulled. But it's really important to know the difference between pulling a baby tooth and pulling an adult tooth. You see, we see on TV and movies and everything else a dentist pulling an adult tooth, and it's so painful. They're freaking out, they're scared, they're whatever, because it's this big painful experience. And unfortunately, because kids see this, they assume the same thing is going to happen to them. You see, the reason that there is pain associated with an adult tooth is because of the way it's set up. You see, an adult tooth has a full root, it has a full nerve, a full blood supply that's sitting in there, and most of the time if it's getting pulled, it's because it's decayed, there's an infection, there's bad things going on around that tooth. And so yes, pulling an adult tooth with all of these factors in it can be somewhat uncomfortable. But a baby tooth is absolutely the complete opposite. If you guys don't know, a baby tooth, when it gets to a certain time and it's getting ready for a permanent tooth to come in, the bottom root will just start dissolving away on its own. And if there's not a permanent tooth behind it, say you're missing a permanent tooth, that baby tooth will still dissolve on its own. And so by the time it gets wiggly in your mouth, or we need to pull it, the root and nerve is completely gone. There's no more root and nerve, and no nerve system there to hurt. And so basically what you have is just an empty shell sitting inside your tissue. Now sometimes the edges can get a little sharp, so if it's wiggly and you're pushing one way or the other, a sharp edge can kind of be digging into the gum tissue a little bit. You can think that is a little bit of pain coming from the tooth, but it's actually just pinching a little bit of the gum tissue. So if you have a baby tooth, or you're a kid out there that's trying to get rid of a baby tooth and it's wiggly, you can pull on it as much as you want. I promise you it will not hurt. And if it's just slightly pinching you on the edge, just pull the opposite direction of the way it's pinching and you'll be able to remove it without any of that as well. Now you will get a little bleeding for about 5-10 minutes, but it'll go away super quick. It's not related to anything from you pulling the tooth. It's just some leftover stuff that's up inside the tooth itself. And then more than likely in a couple months, your permanent tooth's gonna pop right back in. In fact, it's honestly kind of crazy because I pull so many kids' teeth in my office. Like they'll come in and it'll just be wiggly and I'll just be like, hey, does this hurt at all? They're like, no, nothing hurts. And I'll just pull it out and they're like, what just happened? And then every single time they're like, oh, that didn't hurt at all. Not once have I ever had a kid tell me that it hurt to pull their baby tooth. So kids out there, go get that tooth fairy money. It's waiting for you.